In case you've heard otherwise, the school-to-prison pipeline is real. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, the school-to-prison pipeline refers to a disturbing national trend where students are funneled out of schools and into the criminal and juvenile justice systems. These inequitable practices negatively impact all students. However, they most significantly impact emerging bilinguals, students of color, and students with special and diverse learning needs. Black students represent 18% of the student population, yet they represent 32 to 42% of students who are suspended from school more than once. Black boys are 3 times more likely than white boys to be suspended from school. These statistics are alarming for Black girls, who are 6 times more likely than white girls to be suspended from school. I am sad and angry. Why are Black students overrepresented among students who face school disciplinary practices? What happens to their lives when they are pushed out of schools? Despite these staggering statistics, it is possible for us to strengthen the ways that we empower teachers to disrupt our role in the school-to-prison pipeline. I'm reminded of the amazing students I have the opportunity to work with in an alternative learning setting with students who have been suspended from school. Like all students, they are gifted with greatness and the potential for greatness. Yet, when we engage in reading and writing activities, the ways they have been underserved become very clear. Their powerful words to describe important pieces of who they are and their future academic aspirations often remain stuck in their heads, never or barely reaching the papers that sit on their desks. In finding and implementing solutions, all of us who are members of our students' villages are implicated. Police and truancy officers who are responsible for handling and responding to students, school administrators who develop and implement zero-tolerance policies and school disciplinary policies, teachers who determine what actions are worthy of students being kicked out of the class, and parents who provide support and guidance. I name us all so that we are all reminded of the responsibility we bear in finding solutions. As teachers, our areas for growth where we can and should do better are very clear. To be clear, I by no means am suggesting that teachers alone are responsible for maintaining and dismantling the school-to-prison pipeline. But we do have the power to do better by our students. This pathway forward includes developing critical consciousness and strengthening and affirming the literacies of our Black students. Developing critical consciousness requires that we understand the ways in which race and racism pervade our schools and classrooms just as they do in society. It also requires that we understand and identify biases and misperceptions that we all have about our students based on their race, language, and culture, and other factors. These biases and misperceptions, whether seemingly negative or positive, have a direct impact on how we engage and teach our students. Instead of adopting colorblind approaches where we claim we don't see color, we must see color or race. When we don't, we forget to see who our students are and the beauty and uniqueness in who they are. The problem lies not in seeing, but in misclassifying and stereotyping Black students as less than. It is also important for us to understand that some of our most brilliant minds who are suspended from school also struggle with reading and writing. To be clear, I am not claiming that this is an inherent deficit that they possess, because it is not. It is an example of the ways in which they have been underserved and overlooked. If we fail to see race, we fail to see and provide opportunities in our school and classroom libraries where we provide our students with books with characters who look like them and positively represent their race. Or we miss out on opportunities to connect our students to Black excellence in the form of playwrights, biochemists, songwriters, and community activists who utilize literacy in powerful ways. Or we miss out on opportunities to allow our students to engage in reading and writing activities where they see themselves indeed changing the world. It is time to re-see, to rethink, and to reteach. Consider this. For students who are seemingly disengaged in our classrooms, instead of considering them to be incapable of learning, consider that they could stand to be engaged in reading and writing activities that speak to their lives. Consider this. For our students who talk in class, instead of considering them to be disruptive students, consider that they are likely gifted and talented, and they could likely stand to be engaged in more rigorous, stimulating, and culturally relevant literacy instruction. Now, it is important for us to understand that all of these things are very possible. No longer can we respond to our students as Black students with bodies and brains who should be pacified and policed. Instead, they deserve to be loved and nurtured like all students are. This pathway forward includes us building and sustaining school to success pathways. It is through these pathways where we will be able to boast uplifting trends, where we are able to support our students as they propel and transition from schools into career and education pathways where they excel beyond all our imaginations. It's where they're able to engage in writing with abandon and with confidence, knowing that they are more than capable. It is possible. It's all possible.